Patriot, which was supposed to be the biggest Malayalam film of 2026, expected to do wonders at the box office but crashed just after 3 days. And that raises the question, why? What happened? Was it the hate and negative campaign against the film? Or was the reason that the topic of the film was way ahead of its time? Or was it the audience which failed the film, which was trying to do something different? We will get to that answer in this video, and that will reveal the harsh reality of Malayalam cinema. So let's talk about it. Hello guys, I'm Nona and I'm not very happy making this video. I wish I didn't had to, but the way the things were, I think this video had to be made and some things had to be said. Patriot was a film I was looking forward to for a long time since it was announced. I'm sure there were so many of you too. But looking at what's happening today with the film after it's released, it's quite shocking. You know, a film can be really good, it can be really bad, or it could be mid also. But this film is stuck in a different limbo altogether, which I've never witnessed in my small career till now. It is the indifference for the film. It's not a great film that people are just raving about it. It's not a horrible film that people are just trolling it. It's somewhere in the middle and people are indifferent to it. Why does an artist create art for the world to see? Especially movies, which is the most commercial art form. The worst thing the artist can create is the indifference towards the art they made. You either love it or hate it, but talk about it. Discuss, debate, do something. But even if that is not happening, it's the most painful. A film by an impeccable storyteller, Narayanan, starring the biggest names of the industry with some of the best technicians, and the buzz is zero, is none, it doesn't exist. And that has really shocked me. If it was an indie film, a small budget film which has, done festival rounds, and if that film gets a wide acceptance, that's enough for it. And I would say the same thing for Narayanan's last film, Arippa, which was really well done. It did the festival rounds, but didn't create that much buzz in the mainstream. For obvious reasons, it was a small film. But the same thing happening for a film like Patriot, I'm unable to digest it. I've been seeing a lot of posts from industry insiders, even the director himself gave an interview, and that reflects that they are devastated by how the film has performed. No one expected it. There are hints of foul play, that a hate campaign was run against the film, that audience didn't support it, they didn't give the film a chance, the reviewers bashed it. But what's actually happening with the film, no campaign can do that. It's almost that no one really cares about it. The film was supposed to be a pan-India release, but that didn't happen. Only the Malayalam version released. It was said that the dub versions will come 1 week later, but that never saw the light of the day. Like even the original Malayalam version, I had only one show near me, and that shows they didn't get a great distribution deal, which is hard to believe considering the amount of stars the film had from the industry and how good word of mouth Malayalam films have created over time. Let's just forget all of this. The easiest metric, at least for me, is how well my videos do. I don't know how much merit is there in that, but it tells you a lot. When the trailer of the film came out, there wasn't much buzz. No one was talking about it. When I made a video on the trailer, there was not much response. Now when the film releases, I put out my review 3 days later, and I've been doing that for some time now. I don't do a review on the day the film releases. I take my time, and if you look at those videos, they get good amount of views. There is an interest, there is a buzz for them, even for a small film like Sambhavam. But my Patriot review was below average, and that shows that no one really cared for the review. It wasn't even about if the film is good or not. The film never attracted the audiences. In that review, I said we'll do a spoiler discussion on the film, and there was literally no response to it. No one wanted it. Forget no one wanting, no one even cared. And that shows you that the film's success was dependent on the word of mouth. If the audiences love the film, then that will generate the interest and it will attract more audiences. And even that didn't happen. So here I have 5 points for you what went wrong with Patriot. Point number 1, the topic of the film. It was just too niche. The idea that the government or a private company is spying on the citizens of the country without their knowledge, they are under surveillance, is very relevant and not even a fiction anymore. But the problem is, especially in India, privacy is considered a joke. No one really cares. We just checkmark the box of agree to terms and conditions without even reading and giving it a thought. Forget how our data will be misused, it is already being misused. So taking up a core subject like that for your film is gonna be a hard sell. You really have to move heaven and earth to make the audience care and feel that threat. I remember watching a Hollywood film called Snowden, which was based on Edward Snowden, who was a whistleblower that American agencies are spying on its citizens. And it was a really well-made film. It showed the paranoia the character had, that he was part of something like this, and he came forward to tell the truth to the world, but he had to go in hiding. Now I just looked up how well it performed at the box office, and it was a disappointment. And this film came out in 2016, 10 years ago, and US of A is considered to be a more advanced country than others. So if 10 years ago that subject didn't click for the audience, what do you think how that will work in India, where a majority is just occupied in everyday struggles? The lack of cylinders, the lack of fuel, unemployment, exams getting cancelled because of leaks. So for such audience to make them really care about something which they consider fiction, you really have to make it very personal to them, which I feel the film tried but couldn't deliver on it. Point number 2 is the structure of the film. A good film always leaves you wanting more by the end, and I feel this film in its 3 hours running time film tries to resolve everything by the end, and that just doesn't work. I really felt the amount of narrative they had, it could have been divided into 2 films. I know that is a trend, everyone is doing it, so you should also do it. You should not follow a formula, but this film would have benefited from that. And that would have also given the film the time to explore its characters, to build them out, to establish the world properly. Because the film just rushes through the plot. Except our main character played by Mammootty, we really don't have time to invest in any other character or get to know them. And one of the biggest victims of this is the villain of the film, which is played by Fahad Fasil. The film just tells you that he's the villain, but it never shows you why he's the villain. And I think for such story, you really need a big villain to drive the plot ahead. Just like the review, I'll take an example of another Marvel film, Avengers Infinity War. The protagonist of that film was the villain itself, Thanos. And even there, you could say the theme of that story, that there are very few resources, too much human population. Even that is a very niche thing. Who cares about it? Who gives it too much thought? But in that film, you understand the perspective of the character. Why he wants to, erase half of the universe. What's his thought behind it? What he is willing to do it. You understand him, even if you disagree with him. So when you create that personal connection, even if the topic is very niche, something you would not care, that character makes you care. You get invested in it. And that brings me to point number 3, the lack of emotional depth. It's really surprising because the hardest part of this film was supposed to be the way you shoot it, the scale you are taking this film to, with so many actors, with so many set designs, so many action set pieces. You are going all over the globe to shoot it. The logistics was the hardest part. The way you shoot it, the way you show the scale, that was the hardest part. And this film nails that. But the part that should have been easy to do, because the director has already done it in his previous films, to create that emotional depth between the characters, to make you invested in them and the story, the film fails in that. It's like a student who's into art and is really good in languages, but really struggles with maths, physics and chemistry. But when the board exams come, that student does excellent in maths, physics and chemistry, but only get grace marks in English and Hindi or any other language, which was their strongest suit. And that makes you wonder if the makers sacrificed the emotional depth for that scale, for that grandeur. Point number 4 is the baggage of the cast. I wonder if this film didn't have these big names attached to it, would it have the same conclusion as now? Because the moment you bring stars to your film, there is a limelight that comes on it. Suddenly you get all the eyes on you. And generally that's the point of getting a star on board. You want that limelight. With that comes more money, more investment. It becomes bigger. And after watching the film, even for a small role which was barely on screen for 2 to 3 minutes, this film got a really big actor to do it. And because of that, it's not just about the characters that are in the film, but it becomes an act of balance of these big stars together. How you're dividing the big moments between them. Is each character getting to shine? Is it making sense why these actors are there in this film? Suddenly the conversation is turned. It's not about the characters but the actors. What did Mammootty do in the film? How many action scenes he got? How many moments Mohanlal got to do? How well did he do in the action scenes? Who did better? Who had the better lines? Who had the massy dialogues? Even if this is not intentional, it happens. And point number 5 is the expectations. The moment you get Mammootty and Mohanlal to come together for a film, it's just not about the story anymore. 2 of the biggest Malayalam actors. They are not legends just in Kerala, but in India. And they are coming together in a film after 18 years. That suddenly raises the expectations to something else altogether. Over that, we have Fahad Fasil in the film. We have Kanchako Boban. We have Nayanthara. We have Revati. We have Darshana Rajendra. We have Rajiv Menon. For few of us, it is a Mahesh Narayanan film. But for the masses, it is the actor's film. And thus, those are the expectations they are setting for the film. Now, you have got the big names. You have to deliver with them. You have to give the moments the audience expect. It cannot be that Mohanlal just sits in a room throughout the film. That's it. He has to take part in the narrative, in the action. You have to create those moments when the heroes come together. There is an indirect dictate to do this. Even if no producer, actor asks you to do it, you from inside feel that I need to do it. And I feel maybe the expectations were not met even with the trailer. And thus, the hype was never created. There's always a talk of the Kerala audience. It's not just me, there are so many people who talk about it. And with what happened with Patriot, they proved that they are the most ruthless audience. They have a high standard. If you match it, they'll rave about it. They'll give you a great word of mouth. But if you don't match it, they don't care. Doesn't matter how many big stars you have, how big budget you had, how much scale the film had. The sheer attempt is not enough. You have to deliver a great film. And that's why, I made a remark saying that if this film was made in any other industry, there it would have been termed a masterpiece. Because of the level of finesse of the filmmaking. If other industries' big heroes are together in a slick film like this, which is so well shot, which has moments for its heroes, but logic-wise, narrative-wise, it doesn't crack that well. But scale-wise, it does. They would be happy about it because they don't have that high standard set. For them, it will be a thing of pride that they pulled off something like this. I remember when the first teaser for KGF dropped. Back then, I had very few subscribers. I was a very small channel. But I was bombarded with comments to check out the trailer. And these were not bots. It was not people paid to do this. They were genuine fans of Kannada industry who saw that someone is trying to push the boundaries in the industry and they wanted everyone to check it out. They did more marketing than anyone else could have done. So in other industries, the audience would accept, even if the film is uneven, we got to see something really big, something that is amazing for the industry. But for Malayalam cinema, the story comes first. The way you told the story, how well it connected with the audience. For them, that is the most important thing, because they keep getting such thing. They have that high standard. It's not that once in a while a film with that standard comes out. It's most of the time. And when that is the staple, anything below that will not be catered to. So those were my 2 cents on what I think what went wrong with Patriot. There's still a lot to look forward to in this year. New films will be coming and the reviews will be on the channel, so do check them out here. And let me know your thoughts. Do you agree to me? Do you disagree? Let's have a discussion in the comments below. Again, thank you for watching and I will see you next time.